Hi, everyone. I am Joanna Rogister, and this is Real Talk Soul Alchemy, part of Speak Up and Empower's online community of heart-centered people or heart-centered groups, heart-centered people that do real talks about subjects that are important to them, about topics that they're passionate about, that bring out their wisdom, their knowledge to allow them to have their voice heard. So Real Talk Soul Alchemy, I am a soul alchemist, and soul alchemists guide those on their journey of self-awareness, self-development, helping you to uncover your story so that you can reveal your truth. So often we are limited by our story, what you've been told about yourself, the things that you've heard other people say, the labels that have been put on you. So many of these pieces, but the culture, your family, all of these pieces create a story, and we grow up becoming that story. When we can uncover what our story is, we can step into our power and see our true soul. Our story, your story, limits you. You are actually truly limitless. Anything is possible if you can let go of what you think you can do and what you think you can't do. You can do anything that you want to when you believe, when you trust. But that's challenging for the majority of us. We have these limitations. If you were told as a child that you were shy all the time, then you've probably grown up thinking, well, I'm shy. And it's not that it gives you an excuse, but you can go out and, be an introvert or hide in a corner because you were always told you were shy. And you never grew up and learned that you weren't shy. You're maybe not comfortable jumping or sitting in front of a group of people talking, but you're okay one-on-one in a party. You're okay talking to individuals. When you can let go of that label, you can step into your power. So part of how you can do that is to start to connect more with yourself. And when you can connect more with yourself, you can come to understand who you truly are. But we all need help along the way on how to connect. And depending upon what your belief system is, you could be connecting with, well, we all can actually connect with our higher selves. We actually are, of course, connected to our higher self, but sometimes we block the support, the guidance, the messages that we get because we, maybe heard it when we were kids, but, we didn't know what that information was. It can present itself as intuition. Sometimes that is your higher self reaching out and talking to you. Your higher self can connect, with thoughts, with things, images, sometimes that surprise you. That is your connection between your conscious and your subconscious self, your higher self connecting, showing you what your soul truly wants. There is also connecting with archangels. And that's really what I want to talk about today, is how to build your connection with archangels. Archangels surround us. They are there for us all the time, depending upon, each archangel has a role to play. And, there's iconic images, archetypal images of what each archangel plays within your life. But archangels can also come into your life to teach you something more about your life. And perhaps not, they don't come into, well, they do, they can come and go. It's archangels can be there as teachers. So they may not be there with you at all the time, but if you're going through a period of time where you're going through a transitory period, you're learning something new, you're up-leveling, becoming a higher vibration, or you're going through something traumatic, you could have an archangel there helping you, guiding you, sharing their wisdom with you. And the more we can tap into what those archangels have to say, the more we can connect and the more we can have that feeling of support and guidance that is so important for all of us to have in our lives. We're not here to be alone. And we aren't alone. We're never alone. That's a human thing to feel that we are alone. We are always surrounded by these higher vibration beings that are there to help us and guide us. And, depending upon what you believe in, is it archangels? Is it your higher self? Of course it is It's all of these things, but it's what you tap into. There's also the intergalactic beings and other dimensional beings that are also there. That may be a stretch, but it is something that's possible. It is those tools that access to this information is there, especially with what's taking place in the world right now. We are being guided. If we can learn to listen, if we can open ourselves up to listen, then we can have that connection that they're so asking for, that they're so sharing, their wisdom and knowledge. And the more you reach out to find out more about what people are saying about what's going on in the universe, you'll hear more people saying they channel certain archangels, or they've gotten messages from certain angels, archangels, intergalactic, interplanetary, interdimensional beings. Once again, this is, there's so many people, so many beings, so much wisdom and knowledge being shared with the earth right now, that it is, part of our journey is to open ourselves up more to hear what they have to say, and to hear the support and guide and wisdom that we need. And in order to open up more, it can be, if you have a religious belief in Christianity or whatever it is, if you pray. Prayer can open you up. And that's actually what prayer is doing. Unfortunately, what a lot of us do when we pray is that we talk and ask questions and looking for guidance and insight. But then we forget to wait for the silence, because in the silence is when we are given the information that we're looking for. And whether that silence is in the moment, in that prayer, at the time that you sat down and said, help me with this. It may not be in that exact moment. It could be in the silence afterwards. It could be when you're daydreaming later on that day. It could be when you go for a walk and all of a sudden you have that aha moment, or that epiphany where you go, I know how to move through this. Those are your answers. And the more you listen and hear, and the more you take advantage of that information and utilize it, the more you will be able to connect. And the more you will be able to hear, because you're showing them with your intent that you want their guidance, you want their support, you're ready to hear it. You're ready to recognize that it's available to you. And it's just like intuition. The more you tap into your intuition, the more you hear it, the more you follow through with what you're shown, the more intuition you will hear. It's in part because you're putting a focus on it. It's that, that ability to manifest. So set your intent, know what you want to. So say to, before you go to bed at night or in the morning, archangels, guides, teachers, I want to be able to hear what you have to say. I'm grateful for your teachings that are coming my way. And when you set that intent and then go about your day, expecting it to happen, knowing it's going to happen, a true belief that it will happen, then it will start to happen. It will start presenting itself. And it may come through as a word. It may come through as a thought. It may come through as a vision. It may come through as an idea. You actually you may hear a word, right? Be careful, watch out, do that, take that. Sure, it's never do that. It's always guidance and support. You're never told, do this, because they're not there to tell you what to do. They're there to offer you ideas, suggestions, support on how to make your decisions. So, we can get into a bit of that if you are being told to do something, or you are being flattered, you're absolutely amazing, this is the best thing that could ever happen, all these things. Anytime any energy is over the top, then I would suggest to you that it's not a high vibration energy. Or anytime you're being told anything that's very negative, or even negative, like that's a dumb thing to do, or don't do that, anything like that, that is also low vibration. So it's not coming from an archangel or a guide or teacher. And tapping in and understanding how energy affects us and how to shield yourself, that I've talked about in other episodes, and of course we'll be talking about again, because that's really important to tap into, and to be sure and comfortable that you are connecting with a higher vibration. But enough, that's I'm working with Kimberly DeFruthra, and we're offering an 8-week course all about that. So it's not just for a quick half hour. But back to the Archangels and Ascended Masters. So one of the books that I turn to is Doreen Virtue, Archangels and Ascended Masters. This is a guide to working and healing with divinities and deities. This is available through Amazon. You can probably buy, get it away from the ring light, sorry. There you go. Yeah, on Amazon, I'm sure Chapters sells it, everything like that. It is a great book. She goes in to explain what Archangels and Ascended Masters are. And just for example, I picked a couple of the Archangels that I have worked with and that seem to come through in messages and guidance. And for example, and that a lot of you, some of you will have heard about, if you work with Archangels, you'll recognize this name, Archangel Metatron. And Metatron, if you aren't familiar with him, he is perhaps, I'm sorry, Metatron, a little bit lesser well known. He's not, Gabriel and Michael and, many of the other ones. But the meaning of Metatron, Metatron's, he's actually was in human form. He's one of only 2 archangels who were once mortal men who walked upon the earth. The other one being Sandalphon, who is also the prophet Elijah. So Metatron was in human form and has ascended and is now considered one of the archangels. He is one of the youngest archangels. But he is known as this place has, here you go. So Metatron has a special place in his heart for children, especially those who are spiritually gifted. He helps children cross over and adjust to heaven. Is strongly and highly focused like a laser beam. He's very motivational, and we encourage you to overcome procrastination if you're a procrastinator. He says, my human life gave me the ability to grasp human concepts of life and death, which are abstract concepts to those who always existed in the ethers. I do understand the gripping fear of death that underlies many human emotions. Having crossed that divide, though, I want to underscore the sentiment that you so often heard, that there truly is nothing to fear in coming here. The time is planned according to your soul's calendar, and death cannot occur one moment before that time is reached. So he helps with attention deficit disorder or attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, ADD or ADHD, children's issues, record keeping and organization, spiritual understanding, and writing. The beauty of this book is that she also provides you with an invocation. So this one is directed at any child that's being labeled as ADD or ADHD. And, that's one of those labels that I really dislike, because it is a label. To have that diagnosis, it is just that your child or adult has a series of symptoms, and then they, if there's 6 or more of those series of symptoms, I think the number 6, then they label you as ADD or ADHD. And so often, once that label is placed upon a child, then they become that for the rest of their life. Like I, know adults where they say, oh, that's my ADD. It's, well, maybe, but I think that it's a label that we place, and then we limit ourselves because of that. So it goes on to create a affirmation for Archangel Metatron. I asked for your powerfully loving intervention in helping the name of the child who's been labeled as disordered. And it goes on to give that invocation that can be, the child, you can say for that child. The next one that I wanted to mention is the Hathors. And I channel the Hathors a fair amount. They've been coming through more and more to talk about what's taking place on the planet right now. And the Hathors is an ancient and beloved Egyptian goddess of the sun, sky, newborns, and the dead. Her celebrations were marked with a lot of drinking, music, and dancing. So Hathor is considered to be a patron of music, dance, and mirth. She's also associated with feminine beauty, cosmetics, fashionable clothing, and romantic relationships. Quite a mix there. But there's 7 major roles, and so she divided herself into 7 goddesses. So that's where you sometimes hear the Hathors as opposed to the Hathor. But she works, helps with artistic projects, beauty, attractiveness, and cosmetics, celebrations, music, parties, and dancing, children conceiving, pregnancy and parenting, decision-making, and soulmate, finding one. And she has a great invocation. Hathors love dance and music, so play music and sway or dance as your contact here. Dear Hathor, I now surrender my decision to you, my higher self and the creator, and I get out of the way. Such a big thing for us. Thank you for helping me make the best possible decision for the highest good for everyone concerned. Please help me clearly hear the decision within my mind and heart, and give me the courage and energy to follow that guidance. So a beautiful prayer, and you can write that out and say that prayer. And the other one that I wanted to comment on is Isolt. And Isolt is Celtic, and Isolt is a goddess of love and passion in relationships who helps enhance sexual satisfaction and offers assistance in finding a soulmate. Princess Isolt was a daughter of an Irish king during the reign of Arthur of Camelot. The various and conflicting legends about her passionate and tragic romantic entanglements with Tristan, Prince of Cornwall, have earmarked Isolt as a goddess to the lovelorn. So she helps with breakups, separations, and divorces, healing from, passion reigniting, and romantic love attracting. So her invocation is put your hand on your chest and feel your heart beating. Imagine rainbow-colored rays of energy emanating from your head, encircling your heart. Then call on Isolt, loving Isolt. Please send passionate energy filled with healthy and romantic love through my hand and into my heart. Thank you for healing anything that could block me from enjoying passion and romance completely. Thank you for opening my heart to true love. So a really beautiful affirmation there, invocation. So this is a great book. There are many books out there, but Doreen, of course, is Virtue is one of the people known for her work with angels. And she, breaks it down into, if you have questions, who you could turn to, like here's employment, Luhu Singh, esoteric information, Archangel Raziel, Ashtar, Melchizedek, family, divorce involving children, Demera, harmony, Archangel Raguel, and Demera. So she breaks it down that way. And so and then she also breaks it down into, prayers, that you can say, but it is a great book. But it's one of the tools that when you're ready, when you feel drawn to working with archangels or the Ascended Masters, because I think there's 12 to 14 archangels, depending upon who you refer to. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 in here. There's a variety of archangels, but there's 15 there. So lots of Ascended Masters. And of course, they're not limited to who is in this book, but this is a generally well-known, accepted listing of them. But they are there to help us. They are there to guide us. We can connect with them. We can reach out to them, say the invocations, say, if you're nervous about something, call in whichever one you're working with. In the past, I was going through a period of awakening. Well, I think if you're here now, you're on that journey of awakening. But I was going through a period where I was really stepping up or jumping up. And so I was working with Archangel, of course, I'm drawing a blank on it. I think it was Raziel. Just one second. So Raziel is all about alchemy, clairvoyance, divine magic, esoteric information, manifestation, and psychic abilities. And at that time, my psychic abilities were stepping up. They were opening up more, and I was becoming more aware of it. And in meditation, or, I spent a lot of time mindfulness meditation, daydreaming, whatever you want to call it. I was told that I was connecting, that I was being supported at that time. And so she seemed to come in and be there. And when I had questions, they would be answered by that archangel. And when I was kind of done and at a plateau, then, I was told that I was no longer would be working so closely with that archangel. And it's not that they left, because you always have access to them. You can always call them in, but it wouldn't be as closely, the connection wouldn't be as close as it had been while I was going through that period of time. So it's just like your soul guides, right? Your animal guides. Animal guides, you're born with a number of animal guides. 7, I think 6, 7 is the number. But it is, they other guides, animal guides, can come and go in your lifetime as you're learning, as you're teaching, being taught different things. When I was a child, well, not just as a child, I couldn't stand spiders, right? Terrified of spiders. And then, of course, when I had kids, because the kids loved to put a spider in my face or in my hand and put it up to my face. And so I learned to appreciate spiders. And now I'm not bugged by them. But it also could be that I had to learn what spider was teaching me. And once I had learned the lesson that spider was teaching me, then I was no longer affected by spiders. So if you have gone through a process where all of a sudden, there's an animal in your life that you're really afraid of, or, don't like near you, or even the thought of it makes you feel uncomfortable, then it could be that there is a lesson to be learned from that animal. And there's all kinds of books out there about animal totems and animal spirits, or just Google it and the spirit of an animal, and you'll get the information. And, often if you get the right source, then they will guide you to, if an animal is your guide, or if an animal has appeared in your life, what is the possibility of why they are appearing in your life. So it's the same thing with archangels and other angels and ascended masters. They may be there throughout your life to guide you and support you, or there could be ones that come and go to help guide you as you go through a different adventure, a different learning, a different teaching that is being provided to you. So we have so many resources. We have so much support. We are surrounded all the time by ancestors, by archangels, by ascended masters. They're here to guide us, to teach us, to support us on our journey. And so we're not alone, right? We can reach out at any time and find beings that want to help us, want to share their wisdom and knowledge. That's what they are there for. Some of them, as mentioned, were in human form, but others, most of the other ones, were never in human form. But they are very powerful, very caring, very loving beings that want to help humans and others throughout the universes. But right now we're talking about humans. But also you can get into the intergalactics and different groups that are out there that are connecting with us more and more. There is so much information, so many people available. And with everything that's taking place in the universe right now, it is amazing to tap into these high vibration light beings that just want to help us on our journey of self-awareness, of individuation, of growth. And so that, we're not afraid, that we can help the collective consciousness and calm down the fear and anxiety that is present throughout the world today. It is an amazing time that we're living in, and it is amazing that we have these beings ready to offer their support and guidance. So start connecting with them, reach out, pick one. It doesn't have to be from this book, but Google archangels and whoever you're drawn to. Talk to them, say that you want to build a connection with them, that you need their guidance, you need their support, you're asking for them, you're setting your intent to have that relationship with them, you're setting your intent to have that connection with them, because it is possible for you. So once again, set the intent, ask the questions or ask for guidance, whatever it is, but then sit in the silence and wait for their response. And at first, once again, it may be just a one word or a thought or a knowing or a hearing, or it may come afterwards, but they will respond to you with a guidance and assistance. And it will never be anything that is too much for you to handle at the time. It will never be, here's what you need to do. It will always be that this is a possibility, this could help you, this could guide you, this could be a way to respond, this could be an avenue to try. We come into this world with a million possibilities available to us, and each time we make a decision about something, we're guided towards on a different journey, on a different path. And the more we can step into our power and let go of our story and not be limited, the closer we get to that ultimate place of joy and happiness and having the world on that silver platter that's available to us, because we are here to find joy and happiness. Yes, we experience adventures and we learn more about ourselves, and we have up and downs, but each of those ups and downs and those adventures teach us more about ourselves. And if you can look at them as a gift, be able to stand back and be able to say, what's going on here? What is Joanna observing? Why is Joanna being presented with this information? Why is Joanna responding in this way? The more you can understand yourself and understand what your lessons are and how to learn your lessons, so that you don't have to keep being taught those lessons. Sometimes it's not a lot of fun. The work is work sometimes. And there's days where I just think, I don't want to do this anymore. But obviously I come back and survived everything. And am stepping forward and moving forward. And I just wish to share what I've learned with you, because my journey has just been in the last, even the last year has really grown and opened me up. But, last 10 years at the most. I spent 20 years in the corporate banking world before that. So certainly not open there and aware of what was possible, what was open to everyone that's here. So if you have any questions, have any concerns, want more information about anything that I've talked about, please reach out, connect with me, ask a question, and I'll respond. Or if there's any topics that you want to cover off, I'd love to cover them off or have you on as a gift. I'm always love talking with people, and I'm always curious about what people, their experiences and what they have to offer and what they're going through. So please reach out. This was Real Talk. Soul Alchemy at Speak Up and Empower. I'm on every Thursday at 12:30. I also do Wednesdays or Tuesdays at 10 o'clock for Real Talk Wellness Renegades. But this is Real Talk Soul Alchemy, and part of Speak Up and Empower's Real Talks, part of our community, our online community of heart-centered people that want to create more in their world and want to share the wisdom and knowledge that they have with you, so that you can have more yourself. Once again, any questions, concerns, please send me a message and we'll get back to you as soon as possible. But otherwise, have an amazing day, and we'll see you next Thursday.